morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Adventures of the Broken Retired. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your comments. I love going through the comments, answering the comments. And I really do appreciate everything you all have done for me. So thank you. Thank you. The spiel, don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you have somebody you think might like it. And don't forget to hit the notifications bell so that you know when new videos are out in case you want to watch it. So thank you. I'm going to preface this video by saying I had trouble with the phone again yesterday, and it's the same problem that I had before, as far as I can tell, that Apple fixed. I'm not sure if they fixed it or if they just made it work. I went through the phone yesterday and got rid of a whole bunch of stuff to try to free up space, and the phone still works. So evidently I didn't kick anything out of there that was too important to live without. You know, people have a bunch of apps on their phone, and there's a bunch of apps on my phone. I never use any of it. I use the phone to make phone calls. I use it to locate properties I have to go visit, and of course now I'm using it for this. So, and evidently this takes up a lot of space. But either way, so if I'm hoping that we're going to make it through today's recording. If not, if the video just abruptly stops, then understand part 2 will be coming soon as I figure out how to make the phone work again. I'm not sure exactly what to do. But either way, let's get on with this. I'm going to tell you a story today about going to a high school reunion. I graduated in 1977. Well, I say I graduated in 1977. The truth of the matter is, my senior year ended in 1977. But I didn't graduate. You had to have 23 credits, I think. I don't remember now. You had to have 23 credits. There was a problem at my high school. In high school, very few people went to gym class, okay? And I was one of the ones that didn't go. Hang on. Gotta love that pause button just for that. Already I'm getting all dry here. Anyway, in my high school, very few people went to gym class. And physical education didn't count as a creditable course. So if you went or not, it didn't count for or against your credits to graduate. And in an effort to make sure people started going to gym class, what the school did was they put a new rule in place. There was 4 years of high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And what they decided to do was give everybody a quarter credit for each year. So at the end of the 4-year period, you had to have a full credit if you were starting that year as a freshman. However, the year that they instituted that, I was starting I was a senior, so I would have had to had, my screen's making noise, I would have had to had just one quarter credit. So graduating, I'm pretty sure graduation took 23 credits. I actually had 27 credits, so I had plenty to graduate, but I didn't have the quarter because I still didn't go to gym class. Now, when I was in high school, I already knew everything. You couldn't teach me nothing. I already knew it all, and if I did learn something new, well, man, for sure I knew it all now. And I wasn't into sports at all. I did play a couple things. You know, I was tall. I think it was 6th grade, 7th grade. I don't remember now. I played basketball because I was tall, and I had no interest in basketball. I had no idea how to play. I had no idea what the rules were. They put me on the team because I was tall, and I was horrible at it. And contributing to my lack of interest was another kid that started in our school that year, who was about 6.5 feet tall in like 7th grade. So he kind of took my he kind of took my spotlight, which was fine with me because I didn't want to do it anyway. I did play. I got recruited to play football, I think, in my freshman year, but I didn't have any interest in that either. I didn't. I don't know. I just didn't see the point. I wanted to ride my motorcycle. I didn't want to go screwing around playing basketball or football. I wanted to go ride my motorcycle. But anyhow, I didn't have that quarter. I had 27 credits, but I didn't have the quarter. So I went and talked to the principal of the school shortly before graduation, before the end of my senior year. This is going to end up breaking into two stories, or two parts. I'm sorry. So I didn't have the quarter credit. I knew I didn't have the quarter credit. So before the end of my senior year, I went and talked to the principal, which sounds kind of funny for a kid to be able to walk into the principal's office and sit down, but he and I had gotten to know each other fairly well. Unfortunately, fairly well. So he referred to me. He just called me Don, and I called him Mr. whatever his last name was, and we sat down and talked for a minute. And he said, "Well, you got to have the quarter credit, so you're not going to graduate if you don't have the quarter credit." And by that time, it was too late to make it up. It was the end of the senior year. And I really didn't care because the piece of paper they were going to give me did not help me ride my motorcycle. It didn't put me any closer to being a motorcycle service manager or going to California to ride the desert or whatever. So I really didn't care. So I didn't go to graduation. Matter of fact, I wasn't even in town. I think I was in Florida. When graduation took place. My buddy Gordy went. He graduated. He went. And my mom went. And I understand, I found out a few months later that they did, in fact, call my name at graduation. So I got back from Florida late 1978. I got back from Florida. And I heard, that they called my name. And so I got a hold of the principal, and I went over there and sat down in his office. He said, "Hey, Don, how you doing?" And I talked to him about it, and he said, "You should have come to graduation." So I took from that I wasn't getting the diploma. Had I shown up, he'd have given it to me. And like I said, he and I knew each other very well. I spent way too much time in that dude's office. It was he was a nice guy doing his job, and I was a punk kid doing mine. Anyway, so time goes on. 1987, I think it was, early 87, I got a notice that there was going to be a 10th high school reunion. I was in Louisiana at the time. There's no way I'm going to make it there. So I filled out the questionnaire and sent it in. 1997, 20th reunion coming up. Things had worked out in my life to where I was able to go, and I went to that one. And I'm very glad that I went to that one. I was very happy that I went to that one. I saw a bunch of people I hadn't seen since high school, 20 years. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that visit. 30th came around, went to that. That would have been, 97, 07. And in 17, the 40th came around. I went to that. That was good. They when you get up in age, they start, your classmates start kind of dropping out like flies, which was really sad. They had a poster board up, had everyone's graduation picture, and it had a basic static. It had a basic status of who they were, and and what they were doing, and it had everybody in the class. And there were some that, every year there's fewer left. Coming up, this is 25, so coming up in 27, I don't know if I'll go to the 50th or not. Kind of just depends on how things are. It's 1,400 miles away. I used to love driving. I would drive 24 hours straight without blinking, and wouldn't bother me a bit. But the point of the story goes to the 40th reunion and what happened at that 40th reunion. It was my buddy Ray who was in charge of it, and so he is an upholstery guy, and he's good at it. Works with leather and regular upholstery, and he's good at it, and he's got his ducks in a row. He's a nice guy. He's done well for himself. All right, we're getting close to the end of the time that I'll be able to run on this, and hopefully I'll make it through another part. This is Don with Adventures of the Broken Retired. Thank you very much for being here. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. And Elmer and I will be back with you in part two. Part 2.